Divorced Dad Diaries, day 211, and today I'm saying goodbye to Palmerston North, jumping on a bus. But before I do that, I've got to get out of these work clothes. So it's over to the plaza, into a bathroom, to quickly do my switcheroo from work mode into casual mode. So now that that's done, we're popping over to Woolies, grabbing some essential bus supplies, because this is going to be a long trip, and then we're popping over to the bus. I actually paid for a gold seat. I don't know what the difference was between a gold seat and a standard seat, but this seat is like an actual buddy leather seat. And not only that, there's chargers on the bus, like proper like wall chargers that you can plug your phone into. I don't know how long it's been like this, and I don't know why we don't do this on planes either, but like, I used to go on the bus almost every fortnight to go and see my dad up in the Hawke's Bay, so it's very nostalgic getting on the bus, and today's no different. I went past my old iced latte dispensary here in Bulls, and before you know it, I was over to Martin, where I got to see the old supermarket where I used to pick up my groceries. This was a countdown. Now all of a sudden it's a fresh choice. I don't know when that change happened. And before you know it, I was in Wanganui, and I just have like so many memories of this place. Everywhere I look, I would have memories. Like one day I went fishing off this wharf with my mates when I was a teenager, just because we were bored. Here's you, Cole. This is where I studied at to become a chef. I guess I still use those qualifications, just not necessarily for work. Trafalgar Square looks like it's had a paint lift since me and my mates used to loiter there. Outside this Woolies, there used to be one of those machines that you put a coin in and it rocks back and forth that little kids are supposed to play on. One time as teens, my friends dared me to ride on it. I did. I looked ridiculous. We laughed so hard that I could barely breathe. I used to be a paper boy and deliver newspapers in this area. Outside that pharmacy, I'd pick up my papers and I'd be good to go at like 10 to 6 in the morning. I made about $20 a week, and it paid for pies from the dairy every day. And I used to walk along this footpath to go and see one of my oldest friends. It was about a 30 to 40 minute walk, but I didn't mind. I could turn up uninvited anytime. Wanganui just feels like home, eh? This is where I grew up. It feels like a warm hug, but much like a warm hug, it's better when it doesn't go on too long. So back on the bus, continuing my trip west. So farthest out west I can remember being is Partea. So after whipping past that, popping through Harweda, Stratford, Inglewood, the bus trip was all good. There was one guy who was on his phone, talking on speakerphone until his phone died, and then another guy whipped out a ukulele and started singing. We eventually arrived in New Plymouth. I've never been here before. It looks beautiful. I imagine it would look more beautiful if the weather wasn't shit. But chucked all my stuff into the farm ute, because then it was over to Waitara, specifically to this place called Tika Kai, which is this curry shop that sells some of the cheapest curries I've seen, honestly. It was like $17 for a curry, $4 for a naan. I spent like $24 and got a curry and 2 naans. And then it was back in the ute. You could see a beach over there on a sunny day, but you see how it is. And then over to the farm where we ripped into our curries. Of course, I had to say hello to Ted first, Ted the wet dog, and then ate our curries and watched some appropriate adult TV. This curry, it wasn't the best curry I've ever had. It was, it was okay, but at that price, I couldn't really argue, and I got enough to have both for dinner and breakfast. And we also tried some onion bhaji, which I'd never tried before. And the onion bhaji here was almost like chicken tenders. It was quite interesting. And then I made sure to make myself at home at the place that I'll be staying for a couple nights, and I will catch you on the flip side.